Bibhu,
Hi.
କେମିତି ଲାଗୁଛି?
ବହୁତ ଭଲ ଲାଗୁଛି. Thank you. I want to thank our Honorable Chief Minister Sri Naveen Patnaik to allow me to be here to make this evening possible for me. I'm really proud.
So, ଓଡ଼ିଆ ପୁଅ ରାଉରକେଲାର ପୁଅ ଆଜି ବିଶ୍ୱ ବିଜୟୀ ହେଇଛନ୍ତି. ମନ କହୁଛି ପ୍ରାଣ କହୁଛି ଓଡ଼ିଆରେ କଥା ହେବି କିନ୍ତୁ ଦୂର ଦୂରାନ୍ତରୁ ଆସିଛନ୍ତି ମେକ୍ ଇନ୍ ଓଡ଼ିଶାକୁ ବହୁତ ଗେଷ୍ଟ ତେଣୁ ଇଂରାଜୀରେ କଥା ହେବା.
ଠିକ୍ ଅଛି.
I'm sure ମଝିରେ ମଝିରେ ଓଡ଼ିଆ ମାନେ ଚାହିଁବେ ଟିକେ ଆପଣ ଦୀପଦ ଓଡ଼ିଆ କହନ୍ତୁ but we'll have to keep the conversation largely to English so that people follow. Let's start with Rourkela. D37 thila na quarter number?
Yes.
D37.
Yes.
Very nice. So D37 re apan ko janma hoitila. Bapa coke oven plant re engineer thile. Tikke bapan ko kotha kahantu.
Definitely. My dad was born in my ancestral village home in Kalipur in Bhadrak district. And again, a man of great integrity, huge dream, came to Rourkela in the late 50s as a young trainee, joined the steel plant. And work really hard. And yes, Sector 18 D37, we were all born there, all my siblings who were here except for one.
Fantastic. Can they wave from the audience?
There is my sister.
Okay, very nice.
So, yes, his story has always been inspiring to me. I wish both my parents were here today. This is really what a homecoming.
So what was the
for
most
me.
defining thing about being your father's son? You know, your father was a manifested individual, right? Engineer by
Yes.
the day, entrepreneur by night,
Absolutely.
tinkerer.
Absolutely.
But above all, you recall him as a man with great generosity.
Absolutely.
So, कौन generosity कहले तांकर को दिगटा आपन को प्रथमे छुई थिला. What part of his generosity touched you every day?
Absolutely. Small things, big things. He would go to our local fish market and empty it out so that he could distribute it to people that he loved, and including his workers in his factory. He knew what they liked. Ko type macho kemti tang bhal lage, chotto macho kebe asibo. So he knew all the schedules, and that's giving was part of his living, and he did that very well. And we sort of looked up to that, and that was a part of his nature, and we lived around by that. But he had a big dream, and he was working full-time at the steel plant, but always wanted to start his own little factory. And after works, he, little by little, in the 70s, with the help of his friends, he started Annapurna Engineering Private Limited. With loans from his relatives and friends, he bought few old second-hand machines from Calcutta. Fast forward to the 80s, where he decided to take retirement and went full force, and he made something big out of it.
But the man also had other esoteric tests, like being a photographer who could never afford his own camera, right. So he'd borrow his friend's camera and took pictures of all of you.
Absolutely. Both my parents were artistic. My dad was a very technical mind, and I think that's where I got my technical thinking a little bit, I think. But he was also a brilliant photographer. He understood faces and lights, and sabu amar jete relatives eti bahut jana bi achanti tankar they have portraits by dad. Every household. And so he would have a old borrowed camera, and he would develop it with the local developer, and he'll make beautiful prints and distribute.
Fantastic. And, so much so that for the audience, I must tell that he taught Bibhu how to watch a Satyajit Ray film. And he said, you need to be trained to watch a Satyajit Ray film. A man had that perspective in a place like Rourkela. So, Bibhu, take a man ko kotha aba.
Definitely. Ma janma hoitle gote choto village very close to my dad's village, Kolohat. She was, again, another incredible human being, very kind, generous, but very strong. She's the one who loved to do little sewings and little embroideries as a kid, and all those panels were in that living room of D37 Sector 18.
So, ma jetebele sewing machine re basikiri silai korthule. When mom used to be on the sewing machine, Usha sewing machine,
yes,
right?
Yes.
That pedal sewing machine.
Yes.
you were about 12 or 13 when
Yes.
one day you said,
I wanted to know.
I want to know. I want to know. So
Yeah.
what did she do?
She she got up from the chair. She's like, okay, sit. Try to cholle upara chala machine.
So mom says, Cholaibu pora chola. And that changes everything. So give mom a big hand. And that is the day that designer Bibhu Mohapatra was born, except that you didn't have a model.
well, I did. I did. It's my sister Lopa who is very kind and 2 years older
Is
to
she
me.
there today?
There she is, I think. Yes.
I can't see. Lopa? Can somebody give her a mic to Lopa?
I don't think that's a good idea. She's going to spill all my bins.
Oh, we're not going to lose this. Lopa, can somebody give a mic to her, please? Right here, right here. Look at my fingers. Okay, by the time you get him, there you are, there, run, run, run. There she is, the most beautiful woman. Right there. So, Lopa, bhai feri aschi et dina pore. Kemti laguchi?
ବହୁତ ଭଲ ଲାଗୁଛି ଭାଇ ଖାଲି ଭାଇ ନୁହେଁ ମୋର ବେଷ୍ଟ ଫ୍ରେଣ୍ଡ ସୋ
Oh.
So, is
Very
it
sweet.
true that his first design was on you?
yeah it's
Okay.
true
Okay.
Yeah,
I
she
am
would-
the experiment guinea pig
Oh my God.
She made a deal with me that,
You-
okay, is it okay if I wear this at home? Please don't ask me to go out. So until after years of
So
self-training.
you won't be seen in a Bibhu Mohapatra collection at that time. ସେତେବେଳେ କ'ଣ ଭାବିଥିଲେ ଭାଇ ଆଜି ଏତେ ବାଟ ଯିବ ଆକାଶରେ ଉଡ଼ିବ ବିଶ୍ୱ ବିଜୟୀ ହେବ
ଭାବି ନଥିଲି କିନ୍ତୁ ତାର ଛୋଟବେଳୁ ଯେତେ he was very passionate about what he does so ସେତେବେଳୁ ମୁଁ ଜାଣିଥିଲି ସେ ଯାହା ବି କରୁଛି ଯେମିତି ରାତିରେ ଆମେ ତ ସବୁ ଶୋଇଯାଉ ସେ କିଛି ବି ଗୋଟେ ନିଏ ଆଉ ସକାଳେ ମୁଁ ଦେଖେ ମୋ ପାଇଁ ଗୋଟେ ଡ୍ରେସ୍ ରେଡ଼ି ହେଇକି ଅଛି
Fantastic. Wow, nice.
he
How
was
nice.
so passionate
Very good.
ସେତେବେଳେ ଲାଗୁଥିଲା କି ସେ ନିଶ୍ଚୟ ତାର ସ୍ୱପ୍ନକୁ ସାକାର କରିବ
ବହୁତ ଭଲ କହିଲେ. Thank you, Lopa. Give her a big hand.
Thank you so
back
much,
to
sir.
mom. So mom said, try your hand out. And you cut her bed sheets and
Her
old
sarees.
saris. And then came time when there was a wedding in the family, right? And what did she do?
She was she was kind of keeping an eye on me, and then she said, like, okay, the wedding of your cousin is coming up, so why don't you take some money, buy something and design something for your sister that's real, and then she can wear it. So that's the first time I got my first validation for my work, that she thought that I was good enough to have that money to buy something and let my sister wear something in public. And I remember the very time she walked into that big hall and she feeling confident and empowered. And that's mission still is true with me, that I want to empower women. I want to give them confidence through my work.
Fantastic. କିନ୍ତୁ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ସେତେବେଳେ ଧାରଣା ନଥିଲା ଯେ ଆପଣ ଦିନେ ଆମେରିକା ପହଞ୍ଚିବେ ଡିଜାଇନ୍ ପଢ଼ିବା ପାଇଁ ଆପଣଙ୍କ ଭିତରେ ଜଣେ ଅର୍ଥନୀତିଜ୍ଞ ଲୁଚିକିରି ଥିଲେ ଆପଣ ଇକୋନୋମିକ୍ସ ପଢ଼ିବାକୁ ଚାହିଁଥିଲେ ସୋ ସମୟ ଆସିଲା ଦିନେ ଆମେରିକା ଯୋଗୁ ଇକୋନୋମିକ୍ସ ପଢ଼ିବାକୁ and you left Rourkela, okay? From Rourkela you took a train to Kolkata. You checked into Utkal Bhavan, right? Now that's the man going away, right? And then from Utkal Bhavan, you land up all the way to Salt Lake City. Economics padhiya ପାଇଁ ଆସିଛନ୍ତି.
Again.
And ସେଠି ଯେତେବେଳେ ପହଞ୍ଚିଲେ ଟଙ୍କା ନଥିଲା. You didn't have much money. So you had your moment of truth trying to find a job in the campus. 20-hour a week job. Tell us about that.
It was funny. Odisha Bodhiki, I had a very happy, loving childhood. Actually, all of us, all my siblings can vouch for that. We never had to, we were doing all our work, but never had to really work for a living because I'm a ghare bodichu. So going to Utah, I had certain amount of money that my parents gave me, and I told myself that I will not ask for ଆଉ ଅଧିକା ପଇସା ମାଗିବିନି ଘରକୁ କାହିଁକି ନା ମୁଁ ଜାଣିଥିଲି ଯଦି ମୁଁ ମାଗିବି ସିଏ କେମିତି କ'ଣ କରିକି ମୋତେ ସେ ପଇସା ପଠେଇବେ so $4,000 he had given me and that was for one semester and I had to figure out what happens after that so I went to the job board to look for a job there was one posting that said 20 hours good for international students so I called my cousin Sarita who was a key role player in me going to America she was a professor there. She said, "Oh, you have a job possibility. What's the title of the job?" I said, "I don't know. It says janitor's job." So she didn't tell me anything. She's like, "Okay, go apply." So I went and applied. It was at the college, university inn. There was a little hotel on the university campus. So I meet the managers.
Hey, don't show your finger like this. Do I look like that manager?
No.
So
But
you
someone
met this manager.
respectable, someone very
Sure.
respectable,
Okay,
dignified like yourself. So then I'm thinking like, oh, maybe that's the computer. I'll get a job because I was crunching numbers. So then after the third meeting, they said, okay, let's introduce you to Jay, who's going to help you. He's going to be a supervisor. And Jay is a man, very nice elderly man, takes me to the closet of cleaning closet जोटी विभिन्न प्रकार झाड़ू सफा सफी जिनस सब सेथरे अछि then only I realized कि अच्छा मोर एई कामटा मते मिलिबो
So bathroom safa kari arambha hala. You have to clean toilets.
8 toilets 5 floors of vacuuming and snow shoveling during the winter
So when he did that, actually he had a nervous breakdown cleaning toilets. Bibhu Mohapatra from Rourkela. And then
hello
So when he had his nervous breakdown, he calls mom and mom said, congratulations, ete sigro, ete badhiya chakri pai golu, to sabu problem solve hejibo. So that was the spirit of the mother. But then something else happened and you met Jeanette, the professor in economics who chanced to see your notebook where you had doodles. And what did Jeanette do?
She was my major professor in economics, and she accidentally saw my sketchbook, and she says, "Well, you need to go to New York." And ताकु देखी हसी देली मैं कहली मजाक करूछन बोले New York को जिबा पई माने impossible. But see, next day she gives me 2 brochures from Parsons School of Design and Fashion Institute of Technology. I started doing my research. Then she didn't stop at that. To make sure I really follow through, she called her professors in the art department and made a deal with them that allowed me to sit on the back of their classrooms without paying for that class so that I could practice sketching, so that I could prepare for my application. I am forever grateful to her, like many people.
So when you went to the Fashion Institute in New York, you were actually left with every day $1.75, right? That was all there for you to eat. And then you told me once that you used to make pamphlets like Chinese takeaway menus and you used to go distribute it in the fashion street asking for work.
I had to do that. I had a limited amount of resources. Morati Mousa Mausi Achanti Bresar Patnaik, Jayanti Patnaik, say co-sign column student loan paying, but that loan was only for room and board and tuition. And whatever money left, I did the math for a year, $1.75 every day. I had to live with that for my food. But I also knew that after my 1-year program, I need to have some experience so that I can get a job immediately. Otherwise, I won't do it. So I will be on the streets. So I printed a bunch of my copies of my CV and walked into all these fancy buildings with big names, Calvin Klein, Oscar de la Renta, all these floors I went. जाके मोर CV गुड़ा drop कर देली सब ऊपर strange looks देले कि किए पिलाड़ा ऐसे किन्थी दो चीज़ सब resume. But actually I got 2 calls from that, and I did that turned into a job for a year. I was working 5 to 11 every night and both weekend days. That worked out.
And then after you finished your studies, you started your career with J. Mendel.
Yes.
And so that is when the designer is beginning to take shape. And fast forward, a time came when you had a 15 by 15 room, which you call the box, the white box, right?
Yes, the thinking
box. And that
box.
is where the thinking box, that's where Bibhu Mohapatra was born.
Yes, that's where the brand was born. And I have to give a lot of credit to my partner Robert Beard, who's sitting there,
Hi, Robert.
who also sort of kicked me like, Bibhu, you're doing all this incredible work. You need to start something of your own. You're an artist. You need to be able to ନିଜକୁ express କରିବା ପାଇଁ ନିଜର 100% vocabulary express କରିବା ତମର dream ଥିଲା. So he would always, he made me rent that 15 by 15 thinking box in Manhattan, paying $1,500 rent every month. That forced me to do something.
And along the way, you started dressing the likes of Celine Dion and Michelle Obama.
Yes,
and tell us a few more of your favorites.
Well, yeah, these are some amazing women that have inspired me. But there are, Michelle Obama, who I was sketching one day in my studio. I had a big assignment, so I had put my phone on silent. The phone rings, and it says unavailable. So I pick up, and then a very sort of a strong voice says, "Is this Bibhu Mohapatra?" I said, "Yes." Then the guy says, "Sir, this is a call from the Air Force One." And so then I say, "Yeah, right. Sir, this is," no, he's like, "No, sir, this is actually a call from the Air Force One. Miss Meredith Coop would love to speak with you. This is something urgent." So they were making, the President Obama and Michelle Obama making a trip somewhere, and there was some urgent need. And so that's how they reached out to me from the Air Force One. And I couldn't believe it. And that's when I got my first connection with Michelle Obama, and I made something for her.
Fantastic. So tell us, there are lots of young entrepreneurs here,
Yes.
and there are lots of startups here. So during the course of your experience as a professional and later on as an entrepreneur, what were some of the key lessons of success? What are the Bibhu mantra, if you will? If there are 4 or 5 things you want to leave behind with all the young aspirant entrepreneurs here, what would they be?
Absolutely. Any job, any business, it's always a balance of creativity and commerce. That balance is the delicate balance that needs to be kept.
Creativity and commerce.
Yes.
At the same time.
Yes.
Fantastic.
And so that balance needs to be achieved. Second thing is your team. I have a tiny but very, very mighty team back in New York that work with me hand in hand. I learn from them every day. So you need to learn how to build a team. Not only that, you have to be inspired by them and inspire them also. Then the third thing is really balancing your personal life and your professional life so that your sanity is always there so that you can really think clearly. And lastly, I would say all along you have to really believe in yourself, work hard, but you also have to be nice. You have to be nice to people because that little bit of niceness goes a long way. People remember that for a long time.
Fantastic. You have to be nice. And you are a nice guy, Bibhu. You are a really nice guy. And I think a lot of generosity that you experienced as a child from your parents still flows through you. And we really, really thank you for coming all the way to do this for us. But tell me, you are the messiah of the creative economy. And so what is this creative economy all about?
I think it's as far as creative economy in Odisha is concerned, it is the time for Odisha to sign. This is a state that we have. It's one of the richest in its craft and culture and its karigari. So I am made by that. My creative DNA is shaped by the things that I saw when I was growing up, whether it's my mom's sari or the Tarakasi jewelry.
Sundargarhର ପଳାଶ ଫୁଲ ଯୋଉଟା ଆପଣ
Absolutely.
ମାନେ ନ୍ୟୁୟର୍କ ଟାଇମ୍ସ ର correspondent କୁ ବୁଝେଇବାକୁ ଚେଷ୍ଟା କରୁଥିଲେ. How do you explain ପଳାଶ ଫୁଲ to a New York Times correspondent?
That was a story. We were going somewhere, maybe we were going to our family's village in Kalipur again during the summer months. I would see that the trees would be like fire. There's no orange, red, and black. And so I would ask Mom, like, what is that? That's so beautiful. Sometimes bus would stop and I would go and look at them and I couldn't reach them. So she told me a story. That's one of the most beautiful flowers, but it has a curse that it's not offered to the gods for some reason. So
because it doesn't have a smell.
I guess
ପଳାଶର ଗନ୍ଧ ନାହିଁ. Back to the creative economy. Tell us about what does it entail? କ'ଣ ହବ? ଆଗକୁ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମେ ଦେଖିବା ଯେ ଏଇ ଯୋଉ ଗୋଟେ ନୂଆ ରକମର ଅର୍ଥନୀତି ଆସୁଛି, new kind of opportunities are coming up. What do you see? How is technology changing? What is the Gen X, Y, Z, post Z? how are they looking at things? And you always talk about authenticity. You talk about how bespoke will prevail over mass design. So give us a feel of what you see the future unfolding.
Absolutely. We're at a very interesting stage. We are going through a filtering system. Technology is evolving every second, as does the brilliant young minds. And especially in Odisha, we have these young minds who are really thinking freely. And I met some of them that have already achieved so many things. So not only, and they're thinking outside of the box, not in the traditional ways, but they're also thinking about creatively. There are a lot of creative potential out of Odisha that could be economized and could be added to the on the world platform, to especially to the fashion industry. For me, the generation, whether the Gen X or the generations after, they are equipped with the technology. They have a different mode of communicating. I'm learning from my young team every day how to sort of reach that target consumer. She could be thousands of miles away. The connection is everything. That connectivity is what is the strength of the next new generation.
You know, when I met you first time, I was really bowled over when you said, all the traditional ERPs, traditional ways in which business sold to customers is going to die because high-value luxury items are being bought on Instagram.
Yes.
Is that really true? You sell stuff on Instagram?
We do. I mean, we are not ready for it, to be very honest. But I found out accidentally that we have this email on our Instagram account. No one checked it. We had 1 year of inquiries about products that I have put on there. Things were like, $5,000, $10,000 a piece. We tried to salvage them. We went back all 1 year. My teams, I think a lot of it got converted.
So you think the creative economy is real and Odias have a good chance to go win the world?
Absolutely, because Odias are wired differently. We're different people. We are nimble. Our sensibilities are different. Our skill sets are really, really different. Plus, we are backed by the heritage of craft and tradition of be it handloom or be it jewelry or filigree work or be it pipli work. All those things really are our big foundations, and that's what shaped me. I think that's where Odisha gets its edge.
ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆପଣ ଏକା ଥାନ୍ତି ନ୍ୟୁୟର୍କ ସିଟିରେ the lights have dimmed, ଦେଶ କଥା ମନେ ପଡ଼େ, ରାଉରକେଲା କଥା ମନେ ପଡ଼େ, ଓଡ଼ିଶା କଥା ମନେ ପଡ଼େ, କ'ଣ ହୁଏ?
I think back. I always think that what was the trade-off for me to घर छाड़िक जिबा से उत्कल भवन कथा कि सांगमान को छाड़िक जिबा 22 वर्ष होइगला बहुत मने पड़े किंतु मते गोटे at the end of that moment I feel like okay, I'm assured that my roots with my motherland has been stronger since I left. All those memories of the people that cared for me, loved me, and inspired me, those bonds have become more vivid. Some of them are here, some of them are long gone, but I wish all of them were here today to so that I could.
କୋଉ ଓଡ଼ିଆଙ୍କ କଥା ମନକୁ ଆସେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଓଡ଼ିଆ ଆଇଡେଣ୍ଟିଟି କଥା ଆପଣ ଭାବନ୍ତି ସେତେବେଳେ କୋଉ ପ୍ରଖ୍ୟାତ ବା ଅଳ୍ପ ଜଣାଶୁଣା ଓଡ଼ିଆ ଯାହାଙ୍କ କଥା ଆପଣ ମନକୁ ଆସେ?
Kola, art is a big thing for me, whether it's music or literature or acting.
So who are these people?
Akshay Mahanti hele, Nirmala Mishra hele, or writers like Gopinath Mahanti or lot of them. And so dancers like Sanjukta Pranigai and Kelcharan Mohapatra. These are individuals, these were who shaped what our culture is like today, and they inspired and they still keep inspiring millions of people. I know a few people here who are huge disciples of some of these people, whether they're writers or dancers or actors. These are the people who shaped my DNA.
Fantastic. DNA. So love having this conversation. I wish that we had all the evening to ourselves. And but like all good things, this must end, but better things are in store. Well, let me ask you a trick question here. Do you consider yourself to be skilled?
No, I'm skilled in Odisha, so that's my strength. So And it's Odisha shaped me, and whatever I am today, I have a lot of people to thank, but Odisha is what gave me my foundation, my launching pad.
Fantastic. So would you accept this Skill in Odisha button from me?
Yes,
And would you wear it proudly?
Yes.
And after that, would you show us some of the skills which are waiting backstage, which people are waiting with bated breath to experience immersively the creative economy presented by Bibhu Mohapatra.
Thank you. Thank you, Subroto. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Thank you.
Thank you. We can leave that here.
Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you just heard the candid conversation between our very own Bibhu Mohapatra and Shri Bagchi. And now it's time to see his breathtaking collection. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting Bibhu Mohapatra's Fall-Winter 2018 collection. Please give a big round of applause.
Ladies and gentlemen, Archita Sahu. Ladies and gentlemen, Bibhu Mohapatra.